Everybody, I hope you're doing well. Listen, I want to talk about the war within a war and what I mean by that. Aside from being at war in Iran, there's also a war going on in this country. We have a war with the economy. We have a war right now where they're saying, hey, I'm sure you've heard by now, they were saying the draft is on the table. Well, news flash for you. Just like the draft may be on the table, so is the Dodge, meaning people will be dodging the draft. And let's talk about that. In the meantime, listen to this report here. U.S. troops in war on Iran.
Overnight, intense bombing in Iran, lighting up the sky in the capital, Tehran, amid more exchanges of fire with Israel and the US, and satellite imagery showing the destruction at a US base in Saudi Arabia after it was hit in an Iranian drone attack, at least 10 American service members injured. Officials telling ABC News at least two were seriously wounded and at least one tanker damaged in the Friday attack. Altogether, more than 300 American troops have been injured and 13 killed as the war now enters its fifth week. And this morning, even more troops are on the way. Multiple US officials telling ABC News a third US aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, is heading to the Middle East. They'll join another 2,200 US Marines set to arrive in the region any day now, and with up to 1,500 paratroopers preparing to deploy too, questions mounting as to whether a ground operation into Iran is imminent. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio, speaking to G7 leaders in France on Friday, saying the US can reach its goals without putting boots on the ground.
And we can achieve them without any ground troops, without any.
Just hours later, President Trump speaking at a Saudi-backed investment conference, calling himself a peacemaker, praising the US-Israeli operation and saying the US is now, quote, just going after targets in Iran.
We have another 3,554 targets left, and that'll be done pretty quickly. And then at some point, we're going to have to determine what we do.
Overnight,
we're going to have to determine what we do. There's no plan after that.
Iran reporting more strikes on its nuclear facilities and steel factories. Video of the confirmed Israeli strikes posted on social media showing smoke billowing from one of the factories. Just hours later, Iran launching a fresh wave of retaliatory strikes on Israel. Video circulating online showing the moment of a missile impact in Tel Aviv. At least one person killed, a man in his 60s, and multiple others injured. While the death toll inside Iran climbs to at least 1,900. In southern Lebanon, where the IDF says it's widening its ground invasion to create a buffer zone against Iran-backed Hezbollah, more than 1,116 people killed, over 1 million displaced according to Lebanese authorities, the UN warning it's facing a humanitarian catastrophe.
Now, here's my thing about that. All those people displaced, we have a war at home. Oh, yeah. And that's why a lot of young people are saying, no, I'm not going. Just like they're saying the draft is on the table. Guess what? A dodge of the draft is also on the table. The war at home, what's that? The war at home that we're dealing with right now. Oh, the economy. People have been sold a dream. Let's talk about what's really going on. This is domestic. People have been sold a dream. Get this education, and if you work hard, yeah. People are working hard, and guess what? Still trying not to starve. People have been laid off, still can't find another job. What is going to happen? People that can't find jobs are going to, a lot of them may not have a choice but to go in, take the draft. But a lot of people are not going to. And the worst thing you can have in society is when people don't have hope. We have a broken system, yet you want people to sit up here, oh, I'm going to go ahead and go over there willing to fight, and they're not going for it. This is not going to be Vietnam, but they didn't have social media. See what's on TikTok. The people are not going for it. A lot of people sign up for it thinking, hey, I'm going to get paid. They couldn't find jobs, so they went ahead and enlisted to fight. They couldn't find, it was a way to survive. And now look what's happening. So now you have, especially young men saying, yo, we're not going to go. They will either go to Canada. Some guy even said, I was like, oh my gosh, he was willing to even do drugs. So I guess if you become a pothead or weed head, they won't take you. Why is this happening? Because people have lost hope. Oh, you're going to be taken care of. Look at Camp Lejeune. They'll be taken care of. Are you sure about that? There are reports now in Camp Lejeune, in case you may not know, that's when they drank, I think in the 70s, they drank that water there, and it was the water had, like, I think, aircraft fluid in the water, so it caused all kind of cancers. So many have died, it is unbelievable. So the Camp Lejeune Act, oh yeah, first it was supposed to get paid in 6 months. Now some people, some are suing, and guess what's happened? You got lawyers now fighting and say, oh no, it wasn't that, it was that. Why did they pass the Camp Lejeune Act? Now they've got lawyers fighting and saying, oh, well, we think it was something else. Now they got all these people signing up for it. A friend of mine was telling me about it. Okay, so they need some records. Okay, well, the records that they need are with the GOVT, right? Oh, but they want you to get the records so you can then give them to this person and they can process the claim. But you know what the records are. The person that's processing, don't they have access to the records? No, they need you to get them. That's what you're waiting on. What's taking you so long to get the records? They're the ones that told you were poisoned. I said, it sounds like to me that's a stall tactic. It sounds like to me that is a stall tactic. So much for taking care of you. Going over there, 303 wounded, we don't know what that could be. That could be arms and legs missing. Could be both, mental and physical. But see, the handwriting is on the wall. One thing about it with high unemployment numbers is people have more time on their hands, kind of off that hamster wheel, still trying to find a job. You've got time to be more aware of your surroundings and what's going on. So we have a war within a war. We got people saying, "Hey, you know what? This American dream we were promised. I did what they said. I worked hard, got the education. Worked hard for my family and myself. And the next thing you know, the rug is snatched from underneath you, and there is no backup plan unless you got one yourself." I've been saying, but people have been laid off. Why haven't they extended those unemployment benefits to help them out? What's going on? I've been saying. The programs you think you're going to be counting on, not going to be there for you. And now we have this, and one of our people are saying, a lot of people are saying, yo, they're not going. Not going. So the draft may be on the table. Guess what? So is the Dodge. We are in a very dangerous place here because we have a war within the war. We have a war at home, war of citizens, all this money going out, but the people can barely survive. People want to work hard. You can want all you want to, but if there is no jobs, then what? Oh yeah, the last couple of years been all these layoffs. Really? Look at the rural areas. I guess they thought they were going to be okay. Man, factories been gone, and they're not being replaced. Hospitals combining. Have you not seen videos of food lines for people in small towns in the rural areas? I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. So when you have a system, when you have a system that people have been brought to believe in, and then the mask falls off and they realize, oh, so it was all fake, it was all a dream, it wasn't reality. So what was I doing playing by the rules? Yeah, you played by the rules and pretty much just got screwed in a lot of cases. And when people realize the system is broken and they don't believe anymore, that's when you, oh, trust and believe, got a real problem. And that's why they're saying no to this war. The people that are saying, nah, maybe a draft, but I'm going to be a Dodger, that is why. Want to work hard, can't find the job. So what do? What are the programs? There is no safety net. Maybe the programs you paid for before, you're relying on them, good luck. If they're cutting people off, I doubt they're going to have a whole lot of people coming on. So we have a war within a war. 300, look at TSA. That is unbelievable. Reports now. Are you we surprised? Losing our third paycheck. Some of them are losing their home, losing everything. And if you are a renter, heck, all it takes. Think if you are a renter. Even though the President Trump signed the bill, if you, it's a process. If you are a renter, all it takes is what? Maybe 3 or 4 days. I think 5 days. Now they start tacking on those fees. Boop. What notice to vacate? You think okay? You think everybody's going to get paid by next week? What about the late fees? They're going to want all the money, and they don't care about. Well, I was employed by TSA and I didn't get my check. People losing their homes. American citizens being used as a pawn so the politicians can get what they want. Used as a pawn so they can get what they want at the expense of American lives. In an economy where companies have said 2026 is reportedly a hiring freeze year. Wow. Isn't that something? But this is where we are. A war within a war. Look at this past weekend, the No King rallies. The war at home and the war abroad. A divided house shall not stand. That's why people be at odds, fussing and fighting. They'll burn the whole house down, just can't get along. So this here, a very dangerous situation. All the conflict. We don't need boots on the ground. Then why are you sending them over there? And the rich people, their kids are not fighting the wars. No. And some people enlisted for that very reason. I saw a video of a lady, she enlisted because she could not find employment. And I guess, and she thought it was going to be okay. She was flashing her cash that she received some kind of bonus. And now she got that letter, got that notification. And that's when it hit. You got to go. So, yeah, they'll take care of you. Look at Camp Lejeune. They pass it within 6 months, they're going to be paid. 6 months, man, that stuff going on. Didn't they pass like what, 2 years ago? No, over 2 years ago? Has everybody gotten paid? You don't think some of those folk are dying? Many have already died. One lawyer I heard said something very, very cool. What did he tell them? After filing the claim for the Camp Lejeune benefits because they drank the poisonous water, what did he tell them? You probably end up dead before you even get the check. Wow. Harsh reality, though. Yeah, they're going to take care of you. You're going to be okay. Are we sure about that? Are we really sure about that? So, yeah, I don't blame people. These young men and women saying, they are not going. They'll be going to Canada. That speaks volumes about what's going on, the sentiment in the country. It speaks volume. So you understand, when you have these systems that you set up and people have designed their lives by the system, and they realize that, yeah, it's not working, and they have nothing left. There's nothing more to believe in. That you've pretty much created an enemy. Oh yeah. It's sad to say, my opinion, you're creating an enemy. They don't believe in the system anymore. And since they don't believe in the system anymore, guess what? They're not willing to fight for it. Let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out.